Let's start with two questions. First, do you think having money automatically makes you happy? Not necessarily. Second, do you think having no money automatically makes you unhappy? Not always. Don't rush to a conclusion. Type your thoughts in the chat. With those questions in mind, let's begin reading the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. Today we're covering two main parts, happiness and financial freedom. The time split is very clear, 1/3 on happiness, 2/3 on making money, because what many people want isn't just to earn a bit more, but rather to make money and live with ease, clarity, and freedom. First, a quick introduction to Naval. Naval Ravikant was born in India in 1974. When he was very young, he immigrated to the United States with his parents. After arriving, they ran into many real-world challenges, cultural gaps, identity pressure, and even an environment that included discrimination. His father had been a pharmacist, but due to credential and certification barriers, it was difficult to continue in the same profession in the US. So he had to switch to tougher blue-collar work. Later the family went through major changes. His parents divorced, and his mother raised Naval and his brother on her own. Because of these experiences, Naval wasn't that popular kid type at school. So he spent a huge amount of time in the library. Years of reading, thinking, and self-education helped him get into a strong high school, which became a stepping stone to an Ivy League university. After graduating, he founded companies, became an investor, backed a number of high-profile projects, and was involved with well-known startup investing platforms, like the AngelList ecosystem. Not long after, he achieved financial independence. If you've watched Naval's interviews, your first impression is often not, "This is a businessman," but more like, "Why does this guy feel like a scholar, like a sage?" A smart person getting rich and a wise person getting rich are two different things. What's interesting about Naval is that he can talk about wealth, and he can talk about happiness, and he does it with restraint and honesty. In my view, Naval's core ideas consistently revolve around two themes over the long term. One is financial freedom, the other is how to live a happy life. So let's start with the first common debate. Can money actually make people happy? Naval's answer is very straightforward, but he says, "As a wealthy person, I can't pretend money hasn't brought me happiness, but that doesn't mean having money automatically makes you deeply happy." That a lot of people insist money definitely makes you happy, mainly because they haven't truly made money yet. Once you actually do, you realize this: everyone suffers, only the form is different, but the intensity is often about the same. So what exactly is the relationship between money and happiness? Naval's view is, money does contribute to happiness, but money does not guarantee happiness. What does money solve? It solves the problems caused by not having money. That if happiness is a pizza, then money is just one slice, important, but not the whole thing. For example, you might have the ability to attend a better school, move to a better city, or choose a freer path in life. But because of financial constraints, you miss a scholarship by just a little, and the opportunity disappears. In situations like that, money really can fix the problem. So money can make you more focused, less anxious, and give you more choices, bringing you closer to happiness. But it still can't be equated with happiness itself. More importantly, the happiness money brings has diminishing marginal returns. When everything becomes easy to get, stimulation weakens, satisfaction fades faster, and you start to feel this is pointless. You may even become more restless in the search for new stimulation. You realize external additions don't automatically create inner peace. Now the second question, does having no money necessarily mean you can't be happy? Many people instinctively answer yes. But logically, not necessarily, because one definition of happiness is this: what you have is just a little more than what you desire. For example, you have $5, but you only desire things that cost $4. You can still feel satisfied and relaxed. In other words, among people with little money, there truly are a small number who are very happy. You just don't see them often. We can call these people the wise, and history gives us a classic example, Diogenes, that it said that Alexander the Great once went to the public square to meet Diogenes. Think about it, a world-class conqueror meeting a philosopher who looked like a wanderer. Most people would bow, flatter, and try to please, but what did Diogenes say? He said, "Move a little to the side, you're blocking my sunlight." Most people don't understand the power of that sentence. But Alexander did. Alexander said, "If there is another life, I hope I can live like you." Diogenes replied, "If there is another life, I don't want to live like you." That's the two extreme answers to the question of happiness. So Naval offers a really interesting idea. There are roughly two paths to happiness and joy. 1. You have the ability to get what you want. Point 2. You don't want those things in the first place. These two paths are honestly hard to rank as better or worse. Alexander-style happiness is having goals, having capability, and conquering. Diogenes-style happiness is seeing through desire and becoming free immediately. What's powerful about the second type is that they skip the whole process and go straight to the joy itself. That's why I've often said there are two kinds of top-tier people in this world. One kind grinds hard, but does it willingly, even enjoying the competition and the struggle. The other kind rests, but rests with a clear conscience, living calmly and in full inner alignment. Both are extremely rare. And both are extremely close to happiness. But I also have to say something real. For a poor person, happiness is genuinely difficult, because staying happy without money requires a very high level of inner attainment, almost a spiritual breakthrough. Often it takes either exceptional talent or very deep life experience. And there's another practical issue. If you've never truly had money, resources, or real choice, it's hard to sincerely say, "I don't like money." Naval has mentioned a similar logic. The Buddha was born a prince. He experienced wealth and luxury first, and that's partly what gave him the legitimacy to pursue something beyond money. For ordinary people who've never experienced deep satisfaction, demanding that they transcend material things too early can easily turn into fake pride or just self-comforting rationalization. This is part of Naval's honesty that he says, as a wealthy person, someone who has indeed gained happiness, he can't claim that money contributed nothing to his joy. That would be dishonest. At the same time, he also says, he isn't qualified to stand above poor people and preach, "You can be happy directly," because that can easily become hypocrisy. Next, Naval uses a game metaphor to explain freedom that he says, people play games, win games, and then eventually get tired of games, because when you keep winning, you become free, you stop clinging to the need to win, and you can even choose not to play. The key to freedom isn't winning forever. It's this: you have the power to choose. And what is most people's suffering, really? It's that you hand the on-off switch of your happiness to desire. If I get this, I'll be happy. If I don't get it, I'll be unhappy. Before the desire is satisfied, You stay unhappy. After it's satisfied, the happiness is brief, and then diminishing returns kick in, then you need the next desire. That's the looping game of life, but once you understand the code behind financial freedom, you gain something crucial, at least to some degree. You gain control over whether you can satisfy your desires, and whether it's even worth continuing to play that game. Life becomes optional. Do I want to keep grinding? Do I want to switch to a higher level pursuit? That is freedom. Alright, so that's a light overview of Naval's approach to happiness. Now we move to the main point, financial freedom. Naval has a very famous passage where he says, "People should be like lions. Lions spend most of their time resting, playing, and sleeping. Their actual hunting time is short, but one successful strike can feed them for a long time." That he says the pursuit of financial freedom is the same. 99% of the time is accumulation, filtering, and preparation. 1% of the time is seizing the opportunity and creating the breakthrough. Naval gives many pieces of advice. Here I'll restate them in order and add my own interpretation. First, seek wealth, not money or status. Point 1. Wealth is assets that earn for you while you sleep. Point 2. Money is the way you convert time into income. Point 3. Status is your position in the social hierarchy. This line hit me hard. Because many people, including me, may earn some money, but at the core we're still selling time, energy, and emotion. So what is wealth, really? It's closer to what people call passive income and sustainable assets. So how do you build this kind of wealth in real life? Simply put, there are two main paths. 1. You own assets that generate ongoing cash flow, such as rental income from real estate or dividends from equity. Point 2. You participate in a scalable, repeatable business model and hold ownership, shares, in it. A lot of people hear a line like, "The only way to achieve financial freedom is to start a business or join a startup." The direction is broadly right, but it's not precise enough. Because not every startup leads to financial freedom. Some businesses have extremely high marginal costs. The more you do, the more exhausted you become, and the more the business depends on you personally. That isn't wealth. It's a heavier cage. So what makes a business a good business? In my view, it comes down to two things. 1. It's scalable. Point 2. It's replicable. Marginal costs keep dropping, ideally approaching zero. Only when you're part of that kind of model, and you own a piece of it, do you move closer to financial freedom. Second, give society something it needs but can't easily get, and then scale it. In other words, the value you provide must be real, scarce, and genuinely needed. And at the same time, you have to be able to amplify it, so more people can access it, buy it, and use it. Take the restaurant industry as an example. Many customers crave an experience that feels freshly made, healthy, and consistent. But scaling often requires standardization and reducing human variability. Those two goals conflict in real life, which is why many brands become controversial. I'm not trying to judge any particular brand here. I'm using the example to show this. In business, the hard part is often not demand, but how you implement scaling. The same applies to content creation. When I first worked on short video platforms, I noticed something. Many topics can be summarized in a few sentences, but very few people explain one thing clearly and thoroughly. That's when I realized this might be a gap in demand. Even if only 1% of users on a platform want content that's deeper and clearer, the demand is real. The key question is, can you turn it into a system, into a sustainable product, instead of relying on one person to carry it all by sheer effort? That's the challenge I'm facing right now. The demand might exist, but scaling is hard, and the human factor is too heavy. Third, arm yourself with expertise, accountability, and leverage. Naval says, expertise is knowledge and skill that can't be gained through simple training. In other words, if what you do can be quickly taught and replicated, you're easy to replace. This also matches what I've been saying for a long time. Do what you're both good at and enjoy. Being good at it means you get twice the result with half the effort. Enjoying it means you can stick with it long enough, and if you stick with it long enough, you create compounding. Compounding isn't linear growth, it's exponential. The longer the time horizon, the more terrifying the gap becomes. So how do you tell whether you truly have expertise? I like a simple test I call the 4 lines of life. 1. You think you're good at it. Point 2. Other people think you're good at it. Point 3. The people who think you're good at it are themselves competent. Real experts in the field recognize you. Point 4. Your body is also good at it. Your energy, temperament, personality, and physical condition actually fit the work. If all 4 are true, you're very likely right for that lane. For me personally, my edge is curiosity and expression. Once I become interested in someone, I'll watch almost every interview, video, and piece of material I can find, digging until I truly understand it. For example, I once got obsessed with Bruce Lee and watched a huge amount of footage from his life. So later, when AI-generated or heavily edited clips appeared online, I could spot the fakes instantly. That ability to chase a topic all the way down, combined with communication, this is my expertise. Naval also emphasizes this. The process of building expertise feels like play to you, but feels like suffering to others. The real point here is, don't blindly chase trends. Chasing trends basically signals short-term thinking. This is hot, so you do this. That is hot, so you do that. But every industry follows the 80-20 rule. In any trend, 80% of people are just doing labor, while 20% capture most of the upside. If you chase trends, you'll likely end up as part of the labor. And the more critical point is this: the process is everything. That final 1%, the result, is short. The process is the other 99%. If you're unhappy, disengaged, and uninterested throughout that 99%, then the tiny bit of happiness you get at the end isn't worth it. On the other hand, if the process itself makes you happy, you've already won more than half the game. Next, he talks about leverage. Give me a long enough lever and a fulcrum, and I can move the earth. If you want to build wealth, you must use leverage. Leverage comes in roughly 3 forms. 1. Capital leverage. 2. Labor leverage. 3. Products with near zero marginal cost of replication, like code in media. You'll notice that many people who achieve financial independence today tend to fall into 2 groups. 1. Tech and code builders, whose marginal costs are extremely low. 2. Media creators, content, influence, IP, who scale by continuously copying and distributing what they create, especially overseas. Monetization for podcasts and creators is more mature. But the essence doesn't change. They're all replicating something with lower and lower marginal cost. Naval also has a line that matters a lot. There is no get-rich-quick tutorial. Even if one exists, it's often just the seller trying to get rich off you. A lot of success gurus online make their main living selling success itself. The one thing they truly succeeded at is selling you the course that is all. If you're going to buy a course or a book, you should check. Besides teaching success, does this person have verifiable success in other fields? Otherwise, what you're buying may just be emotional hype, not a reusable method. And I'll add a reminder here. Some controversial figures, when accused of harvesting suckers, will even respond with something like, "That's just the game." It sounds honest, but it also proves why you should be even more cautious. The core lesson is, financial freedom is not a short-term trick. It has to be something that is long-term, repeatable, and accumulative. Naval also says, 99% of effort will eventually be wasted. That sounds brutal, but he's not telling you not to work hard. He's telling you that 99% of time is really about filtering. Through massive experimentation, you're trying to find the 1%. 1. What you're good at. 2. What you love. 3. What has lower marginal cost. 4. What compounds and scales. A lot of people suffer because they treat filtering as failure instead of recognizing it as the necessary path. Finally, Naval mentions a very important, yet often overlooked, ability, knowing what you don't want. That you'll notice that an ordinary person might spend 300 or 500 yuan a day and still often can't even finish spending it. Why? Because they're controlling their desires and not falling into the trap of consumerism. I once heard a line abroad that really hit hard. You always know what you want, but you don't know what you need. The things that truly make us happy and fulfilled are far fewer than we think. That a lot of unhappiness comes from desires that we want but don't need. Buying clothes to compete, upgrading cars to compete, buying a house to compete. When those desires are cut away, happiness actually becomes much easier. Here I'll add a bit of my own view that I've always believed. Frugality is the foundation of my courage in the face of life. You can eat expensive food, but you can also live with cheap food. You can wear high-quality clothes, but you can also wear ordinary ones. You can enjoy luxury, and you can also enjoy simplicity. When you can adapt to both lifestyles, you're less afraid of failure. Because failure is part of life, and also part of success. That if you only enjoy a luxurious way of living, every decision feels frightening, because you're terrified that if you fail, you'll lose your current standard. But when you're not held hostage by standards, you become calmer, more consistent, and more capable of thinking long-term. That's the end of today's story. What do you think about the relationship between money and happiness? Are you more like Alexander or more like Diogenes? And do you think the game you're currently playing is worth continuing? Feel free to write your thoughts in the comments. We can discuss it together.